Whether you work in an office or at home, it's likely that from the moment your eyes pop open in the morning, you have to be on. You might check your emails before you get out of bed, or have a client calling you before you're dressed, or have your kids tell you that they have a bake sale today that they forgot to tell you about. Here you are putting out fires before you've even had a cup of coffee. And just like that, your whole day gets derailed. You go from one emergency to the next, just trying to keep your head above water. Even if the things that you're doing aren't the most important things, they are the most immediate. And they're probably the easiest, because easy and immediate is all that you can think about in your stressed out state. Constant low-level stress causes you to have a kind of tunnel vision, and it's actually been shown to temporarily reduce your IQ. Basically, all you can see is what's directly in front of you, and you don't have the mental capacity to plan or find a creative way out. You just act. We tend to not like anything where we're not actively doing something, even if doing something might make the situation worse. Research has found that soccer goalies that dive right stop the ball 12.6% of the time. Those that dive left stop the ball 14.2% of the time. But goalies who don't move actually do the best. They have a 33.3% chance of stopping the ball. But we have a natural bias towards action. Instead of thinking or planning something, we jump in and do just to make ourselves feel better. And when there really is nothing that we can do, we'll worry ourselves sick or overthink the whole thing instead. Imagine two different commutes, one through the city and one on the highway. The city one has stop and go traffic and lights, but the highway is clear. Which one would you take? I'm guessing most of you would take the highway. I know I would. Now, what if I told you that the highway took longer? Would you still take it? Most of us would probably still take the highway, even if it took several minutes longer, just so that we would not have to sit in traffic and in stoplights. Because sitting idle feels like wasting time. This mentality creeps into our work and our personal lives too. If we have any free time in our schedules, we fill it up. If we have a slow period at work, we find busy work to do. Eventually, our schedules become so full that we don't have any time to do anything. We just run around putting out fires all day. This means that very little meaningful work gets done during the day, which means that the real work has to get done during our free time. Goodbye work-life balance, hello burnout. Henry David Thoreau once said, "It's not enough to be busy, so are the ants. The question is, what are we busy about?" One of the greatest challenges in our modern era is our 24/7 connectedness. Sure, it's great that you can call a tow truck at 3 a.m. if you break down in the middle of nowhere, but it's not so great that your boss can call you right in the middle of your kid's birthday dinner. The problem, though, isn't the technology, it's how we use it. It's not your phone's fault that you refuse to turn off email notifications and now you see them flying across your screen during your romantic dinner date. It's also not your phone's decision to respond to them. While no one has a gun to your head forcing you to fill your days with work, it does sort of feel like that. There's this huge belief, especially in the United States, that if you're busy, then you must be important. While infinite leisure time a la lifestyles of the rich and famous with their summer homes and their yachts used to be the status symbol, now it's the busy executive that parses his time out in 3-minute increments. Yes, that really is a thing. Gary Vaynerchuk has his day scheduled to the second and has been known to have 3-minute meetings. The thing is, though, that busyness does not necessarily equal productivity. So if you find yourself in this place where you're always busy but never really making any progress towards your goals, then it's time to start dumping some of that crap that's weighing you down. Now, you could just dump a whole bunch of unimportant stuff off of your calendar, or at the very least, delegate it. But people that are extremely busy find it very disconcerting to suddenly have a bunch of free time. And it's likely that if you do it that way, you'll probably just fill it up with more stuff. And if you're like me, hello, type A, you probably struggle to delegate or let go anyway, which is probably why we're having this conversation in the first place. So let's talk about what some of your options are so that you can reduce your busyness and clear up some of your schedule and start steering your life instead of riding it like a runaway freight train. The first step is to figure out what your worst busyness habit is. Like, Are you on the phone so much that you should have it surgically attached to your hand? Or do you respond to emails at 3 a.m. or before you've gotten out of bed in the morning? Or do you say yes to anything and everything without considering whether the offer's actually worth it or not? If you're struggling to figure out what your worst problem is, think about what your friends and your family tell you. Do they complain that you're on the phone too much, or that you're always doing something else instead of spending time with them? Or do they just in general complain that you're at work too much? Now, I'm not saying that you should let other people dictate your life, but if you've got all your friends and all your family telling you the same thing, then it might be worth examining to see whether that habit is helping you or not. Once you've figured out what your most critical busyness habit is, start by cutting back by 10 to 20%. If you normally work 80 hours a week, try working 72. If you normally have 15 appointments across the week, then cut back by 1 or 2. Or you can look at your life as a whole and consider all of the activities that you were involved in. Make a list of the ones that are the most important to you, and then cut one of those that didn't make the list. The second method to help you is to start building in slack time. Now, I've discussed this before, and I'll put a link to a video about it up in the cards, but humans are terrible at figuring out how long something will take. Things that we don't want to do, like the dishes, will take hours, and things that we're excited to do, like maybe start a social media account, won't take any time at all. You'll have 5,000 followers by the end of the week, right? Knowing this means that we can start taking steps to help ourselves out. And one of the best ways to do that is to build slack time into your schedule. So start leaving a few hours towards the end of the week, say Thursday or Friday, that are specifically for catch up. It doesn't have to be the whole day, but 2 to 4 hours that you leave so that you can work on the projects that you thought would be easy but turned out to be monsters. This helps prevent you from having to reach into free time just so you can meet deadlines. And if you end up not needing it, then you can use that time to get ahead on next week, or you can use it to start planning the upcoming week or an upcoming project. This will actually help you be more effective when the time comes to get to work. Because of all of our digital connectedness, it's really easy for work to spill right on over into personal time. Even if you're not actively working on a project, you still might be taking phone calls or checking and responding to your emails. Gone are the days where you could actually leave work at work. Now it goes with us everywhere we go, right in our pockets. So in order to ever stop working, you have to set boundaries around what is important enough to take in your free time and what can just wait until tomorrow. This is especially true now that so many of us are working from home. You're gonna have to set an end time to the day and stick to it. Think about it. If there's someone in your company that checks out at 6 p.m. and won't get back to you for nothing or nobody until the next day, then you will learn pretty quick to get your stuff to them by 6 p.m. or deal with it tomorrow. However, the same thing goes for you. If you set solid boundaries and stick to them around your work hours, then you'll be training everybody else to work with your time schedule. And while we're on the subject of boundaries, it's good to set some boundaries around your devices as well. Once you check out in the evening, then ditch your screens for a while. Even an hour off can give you a huge release from the low-level stress that comes from knowing that somebody could try to get a hold of you at any time. This comes with the added benefit that when you do get back to work, you'll actually be more productive. And that's it, guys. Those are my tips to help you be less busy but get more done. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. It really helps me get this video in front of other people that need it. And if you're interested in more videos about how to increase your motivation, boost your productivity, and reduce your overall stress, hit the subscribe button too. If you want to learn more, here are 2 videos that will help you get a handle on your time and get control of your to-do list. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Whether you work out, but we have, a plane outside. Then you probably struggle to talk.